Good morning, and welcome to our educational series of podcasts on buying and selling mobile homes without land. My name is Sue Shields, joined today with my partner and husband, Pete Shields. Our company is called My Florida Dreams, and we list and sell mobile homes on the sun coast of Florida from Tampa to Naples. Today we're joined by Patty Ferrucci and Jose Malave. Our topic today is going to be lot rent. Is it too high? Jose, let's start with you. I know that you and your wife came down here, and you did a little research on which way you wanted to go.
Yes, my wife did. My wife did most of the research, to be honest with you, but I was alongside with her the whole time. We have been here now for almost 2 years, and we're from Chicago, newly retired. So the whole resort living style is all new to us, but so far so good. When we were researching the park, I was really not happy with the lot rent. I thought, my God, lot rent, it's never going to end. So I wasn't too sure about it. But as we talk to people and living here, there's so many activities and things to get involved in with the community. We volunteer for coffee on Saturdays for the Friendly Social Club. And we have joined a couple clubs like the 301 Cruisers, and we have another club called the Plungers, and we have a lot of fun, and we get to meet a lot more people. They offer opportunities to get to know other people. So there are, and at the Cove, we also have dances, and there's all kinds of activities to keep you involved. If you want to get involved, you can get in as many things as you want to. Horseshoes, bowling, we have it all. Otherwise, you could just do it, stay home. But I would take advantage of all the amenities, especially the swimming pools and we have the fitness center. And at the swimming pool, you get to meet a lot of people, and it's just a lot of fun. And the people here are just wonderful. I've made so many good friends here, and it's really fun to get to know people from all over the country. Plus, that you're no different than anybody from New Hampshire or from California. So that's part of living in the Cove. So I think the friendships is a big part of it, and I'm glad that Linda and I have been here now for almost 2 years.
And Patty, what brought you here?
Well, my husband and I have been here about 1.5 years now from Indianapolis, and in our search, we were looking at leased land and owned land and discovered that it was less expensive to buy a home in the leased parks, so we could keep the rest of our money in our retirement, which was making us money. So that was the route we decided to go, and something kept bringing me back to the Colony Cove website. Just all the activities they have, the park is beautiful, there is so many things you can do, and...
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the lot rent? Because a lot of people think it's way too high. So what do you feel you get for your money?
Well, my husband was concerned about that, paying the higher lot rent. And I encouraged him to look at all the factors as far as what it covered, as far as the management fees, maintenance of the park. We have several lakes that take lots of money to maintain, the fountains, our clubhouses, our swimming pools, our marina. We have a beautiful marina here for people who own boats. And it just made sense.
Not to interrupt, but I understand that you just purchased a boat.
I did. And the reason for that, it was going to be our last hurrah. And our dock fees here are so cheap. We have friends that live here that moved here just for that. They were paying over $700 a month for a rental for their boat, and now they're paying just a fraction of that. So they're very excited to be here as well because of just that. And I was in property management forever and know what it takes to run a property. And of this magnitude, there's a lot of money that goes into maintaining this property. So if everybody could just look at that as far as when they pay their fee, the beautiful resort we're getting, we're just not living in a mobile home park. We're living in a community that has a lifestyle that you can enjoy for the remainder of your life. So, yeah.
Jose, let me ask you a question real quick. I know that when we were talking earlier, you mentioned about the price of the homes without land being so inexpensive, and the lot rent does include such things as the pools and the exercise room, fitness centers, and your property taxes are included. Some of your utilities are included. So tell me a little bit about that. What made you make that decision?
Well, part of the reason is as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm from Chicago, and I owned a condo in Chicago. So I still had about 12 years left on my mortgage. So my lot rent here is a lot less than my mortgage would have been for the next 12 years. So I also sold my condo, and I made decent money on it. I came down here, and we purchased a home, paid for it cash, and I was able to put $50,000 in the bank. I'm not going to save $50,000 from here until the day that I die. So we put the numbers together somewhat. I'm not a mathematician, but I said, well, geez, it took me X amount of dollars. It takes me X amount of days to save $10,000. Well, here, in a week span after I sold my condo, I have $50,000 in my bank, and I own the home. So that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and I think that Pete, being our numbers man here in the company, can probably expand on that a little bit, can't you?
Sure. 7 years ago, Sue and I were in the same situation as you guys. Jose 2 years, and Patty a year and a half. I looked at all the numbers. I'm a former appraiser. So here's a situation I just checked not too long ago. A land-owned home around here, mobile home, 2006, sold for $248,000. A very similar home in the park here, 2016, so 10 years newer, with a 2-car garage, and it was sold for $92,800, or it was listed for $92,800. If you compare the expenses and what it would cost, the difference between those, it would take 19.3 years to offset the difference in the lot rent. Now, granted, the lot rent on one was $90, or the association fees, and the lot rent here was $784. But it still takes 19.35 to offset years to offset the cost of that land.
So what you're saying is the cost of the home with the land was so much more expensive that it took almost 20 years?
Absolutely. In fact, 20 years is on the high side, but it never and rarely goes below 14 years. So between 14 to 20 years to offset the cost of the land, just to own the land, just to get lower lot rent. So you're spending more upfront, and it takes longer to offset that difference.
So for many of us, we probably wouldn't even be around in 20 years
Absolutely.
to even recoup that money that we had spent.
Absolutely. And another example is Jose's neighbor bought a very inexpensive home, put money into the home, but if it were a brick and mortar home, that home would be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he has probably $60,000 invested.
Less than that, actually. But the home is beautiful. They did a wonderful job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a home we can all be proud of and in the community. It's just more efficient, in my estimation, when I did my research to lease the land. Now, again, we're not with rose-colored glasses. I know we're home sellers, so, we're paid.
Well,
we're paid by the owners to sell their properties with higher lot rent.
Well, what we were talking about, as I said earlier about it, I was able to put $50,000 in the bank. We're also able to go on cruises now, maybe because now I took that money and instead of putting it into a home where it's just going to sit there and, okay, I own the land, but I can't take the land with me. So now I can go on cruises. I go back home. I fly to California. I do whatever I want because I have that extra money that was given to me by that.
And also, we have to realize buying a manufactured home is kind of like buying a vehicle. It does depreciate. So if you're buying the more expensive home, are you really going to make your money back in the long run over 15, 20 years to begin with? So you just got to look at your numbers and see what's going to work best for you.
2 years ago, Sue and I were interviewed by Patrick Rucker of Forbes magazine. And I just had an email from Patrick last night that they are going to publish the story. He was so intrigued by the cost of homes being so inexpensive and land lease parks. And he did a real in-depth story. And it will be mentioning Colony Cove. And it's talking some of the residents here. But one thing he said would be buyers need to be real. And this is a quote from Sue from 2 years ago. Would-be buyers need to be realistic and understand how much they can afford and be aware they could outlive their savings. So, in that sense, lot rent is both a double-edged sword. But in our case, it made sense. And as an example, the increase of $50 a month for Sue and I, if we want to offset that, we just have to stop eating out one night a month. And that's it.
Well, as we wrap up, let's touch on the main issues that we discussed today. What I'm hearing is this is a personal choice. So you need to do your homework, do your research, do your math, and know exactly what works for you. Like Jose said, in his case and in Pete's and my case, it afforded us the opportunity to do more traveling. In Patty's case, she was able to get that boat they always wanted to get and enjoy it. So I would like to say that if you're looking for resort-style living with a sense of community and lots of activities, look into a land-leased community. We all have, and we love it. You can visit our website for more information at mfdmobilehomes.com. I want to thank Jose and Patty for joining